Hi everybody, this is Shah and welcome back to Charlie's Angel Tarot. I'm going to start a discussion today as I have a lot of people asking me how can you become a reader, and certain questions which I've made a list of, and I would love to discuss it with anybody that's interested in a live session. So if you would like to discuss or ask questions about tarot or about becoming a reader or how to understand, then let me know in the descriptions or in the reactions below the video if you would like to have a live session like that and discuss the tarot or the Lenormand or the normal playing cards or any other systems. Now, the question that I have is gatekeeping. What does it mean? Gatekeeping means that people say it is evil, it's witchcraft, it's taboo, tarot or Lenormand or any other system of cards to tell the future. I don't think so, and I do not agree with that. But I leave everybody to their own idea and opinion. So the first question that I have is: do you need hereditary? Do you need to inherit the connection or the gift, or do you need somebody in the family, a blood connection, to inherit the gift? No, you don't. You can learn tarot through books, through watching videos on YouTube, on Facebook forums. You can pick up a deck of cards, usually the Rider-Waite, because that is where most of the tarot is based on. I will go into that a little bit more later on, because there are different systems. And let's get on to the next question. Do you need a certificate to be a true reader? No, you don't. Actually, I do not disagree or agree with asking money to learn or to take a course, but I think there are courses out there that think that they are the best. There are courses from 10 euros for a session, and then you just learn the big arcana, and you have 4 suits and the big arcana and the minor arcana, so you might just have 6 sessions. So there are people out there that do teach for 10 euros a session. And everybody, it's beautiful that there are people out there. But coming back to the certificate, I've been to readers myself that have had certificates and that are acknowledged by professional bodies. Because what is a professional body? It's like if you become a nurse or a reflexologist, they have their emblem and they have a professional, how do you call it? A professional body. That's when you become a member. You have to pay for the membership. They put you on their website. Some of them also have insurance, so that you're insured, so that if there is a claim made, that they will provide legal advice, things like that. I could do a talk about that, or a video about that as well, because a lot of people understand what professional bodies or mean, but it means that you're registered. And these organizations, a lot of them, whether it's in tarot or whether it's in chiropody or dentists or whatever, they have emblems, or they have recognition badges, and they think they are God's gift to the vocation that they provide the services for. It's a good thing, because you know that you do go to a professional, somebody that is certified and that is recognized by a closed institution. And that's what I don't like about it, because there's no body that controls or checks upon these professional bodies. Now, there's certain professional bodies that are out there that claim that they are the biggest and the best and the internationally known. Well, I've also have the experience that once you start checking them out, one country does not recognize another country's certification. The certification can cost from about 60, 120 euros or dollars to $2,000-3,000, and they expand these courses from 1 year to, or 6 months, from 1 year to 3 years. Well, I've had my experience for the last 45 to 50 years, and I sometimes think I'm not being a big head or not blowing my own trumpets, but I think that I'm a better reader than some of the qualified readers, and thank goodness I have reviews and of clients and colleagues saying I'm a fantastic reader. And so I didn't want to believe that, or I couldn't accept the compliments. So that is one thing that if you're starting to read, then know that, that if somebody says, wow, you're fantastic, you're a natural, then believe it, and don't be like me in being scared to accept that. Because that is the proof. That is the biggest proof that you are a good reader and that you are intuitive and that you're open to the cosmos, the divine, the angels, the ancestors, your guides, your archangels, whatever. Everybody has a different system and different guides and a different way of interpreting it. Okay, so that said, don't believe everything you read that you need a certificate to be a good reader. So I want to take that away from that fear away from anybody that's thinking, shall I start learning Lenormand or tarot? Can I read for myself? That's another thing that's very personal as well. I say yes, you can read for yourself, but be aware that your emotions or your wishes and your energy can be intertwined or can have influence on your reading. Now that is something that I could discuss or would like to have feedback on from other readers or from other people. Do you think that your emotions or your wishes or your energy influences the cards? Can I use second-hand decks? That is what I've been asked many times. Yes, it's a good way to start collecting tarot and getting into tarot by buying a second-hand decks, or even if it's a deck that somebody has used and they are giving it to you. But you must make your deck or the deck your own. So you must cleanse it. A lot of people cleanse it in different ways. Some use white sage, others use a feather and a sort of incantation. Others use moonlight, put the cards out in moonlight and a candle and do an incantation again. Others just flip through all the cards. I do that, welcoming all the cards, having my energy, my touch on each card once I've opened up the pack. And second-hand cards are also usually in very good condition, otherwise the seller won't take them in, because you can, if you outgrow your decks or if you're bored with decks or you want to clear some decks for whatever reason, you can also find second-hand bookshops or thrift shops that will take them in and give you a maximum of $2 to $5 or euros for a deck. I've had I've had decks that I loved and that I outgrew. There wasn't anything that attached me to them anymore. It's like outgrowing a deck. The artwork might go against your grain, or it's not what you seek. Hasn't got the feeling anymore. You really have to be connected and feel the deck. And I'm so grateful that I've got so many beautiful decks, given or bought. I love my decks, and I'm going to go through the decks that you see on the table because they have also got a story to them. Every deck, me, is like, in the olden days I used to be crazy about glasses and shoes. Now it's tarot decks. Also, buying second-hand decks is good to start a collection. You also gain different knowledge because you've got the basic meaning from the Rider-Waite's meaning and interpretations, but every artist and every author of a deck also puts their energy and their interpretations into a deck, and that's what I like. And usually you have a book like this, or even bigger books. If you watch my reviews, Shiver Red Feather uses very big books. I can show you. Like, I've got this beautiful deck and it speaks to me. It's colorful, very spiritual, and you can even get bigger books, double the size of this, colorful with pictures, but their presentation, the way they bring out their decks is phenomenal. And I'm a great fan. Might say I'm a bit biased because I'm spoiled. I've got a lot of decks from Shiver, and Llewellyn is also a very good publisher. That is another book. It's just, and sometimes they're that big, even bigger. And sometimes there is also humor. On the Shadowlands you see a little spider going down if you flip through the book, and you know, that is what I like about the decks. Okay, so cleansing your decks, you can do it with Joss Stick, you can do it with the moonlight and candle, incantations. You can also, like I've already said, flip through the cards, and with white sage. Do you have to be a witch in order to understand tarot, Lenormand or oracles? No, you don't. You just have to be pure in mind, good positive thoughts, pure in your heart, and pure in your intuition. And by purity I mean not to be neutral, not to let your emotions get involved in the readings that you do the readings with love and care, and also, if you have a gentle voice and you watch your intonation and how you bring it out, that helps, and it also reassures your querent that you know what you are on about and that you can read the cards. I have a speech impediment, if you are a regular follower of me, and I still have a lot of beautiful cyber angels right from 3 years ago, because I'm on YouTube now for nearly 3.5 years, and you can see from the beginning videos that I do to videos now that I'm more relaxed. So don't be scared to start off with a bit of anticipation, nervousness, because you've got to do the videos, you have to read the cards, and you're speaking to people. You might have stage fright, so don't worry. But it is best to start off reading cards for yourself and for family and friends, and ask them whether you can practice doing a reading for them, and also how many readings, for example, can you do? Well, in the beginning, if you open up your intuition, your higher self, that's your subconscious, and your heart and your solar plex. That's the beginning. And then your intuition could be developing, and your third eye will open, that you can see beyond the veil, as they say. Then you are literally in the spirit world. You are really connected with the spirit world, and don't be scared if you hear voices, because they're not crazy. You're not crazy, okay? Now, how many readings can you do? Well, that is up to you. Like, I make videos, 12 videos each week, and every 3 weeks I make something like 25 videos. So just take a break. I would say start off with 1 or 2 readings in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, because if you are really connected, it can drain you. If you do have people coming, a querent, then they might be very anxious, and you might also pick up their anxiousness and fear because of what is going to come out, what's going to happen. This is what you also have to deal with when you work with querents. You have to gain your self-trust and a surety. That's what made me come out, because usually I'm an introvert, although I'm a Gemini. I can talk, but to really be self-assured that I'm giving my best, that has taken time. You grow with your cards. When you do start reading, take a deck that is based on Rider-Waite's system. This is Rider-Waite. This is the that's where tarot is based on. All tarot is based on that, unless you learn a different system like the pagan system, the mythic deck. That is literally like the Lover's card in a Rider-Waite. It's 2 people. In the mythic deck there's 4 people, but there's also a mythic story behind it. Now, Rider-Waite is based on Roman mythology and Greek mythology mixed together. That's my opinion. And I'm doing a series on the mythic deck. The pagans rewrote that deck or the book because the true paganism, they felt, is not in the Rider-Waite. So there again, you can use any system you want, and you can do as many readings as you like, so long you cleanse yourself after each reading. So take a break, or meditate, or just wash your hands, clear your mind. It's like when you wash your hands, then visualize and manifest. I'm putting the energy down the plug hole, and I'm going on to my next reading. That's how quick you can start another reading. Once you get experienced, you can open and close your solar plex. You can start a new reading by just clearing your mind, your intuition, and reopening it again. This is something that nobody tells you or shows you how to do and why. So once I start doing a new reading, I'm sure that I'm neutral and that the deck is shuffled properly. Every time I've done a reading, I reshuffle it, so get the old energy out, and I just say thank you. Please give me good cards for this reading, for this querent, or for this zodiac sign. Are you a reader if you use a book? Yes, I can't say yes or no on that, because if you know your basic meanings of the tarot, and you have a new deck, and like with this deck, the secret language of the birds, I had to go back into the book, and I didn't understand it. A, because it was in Italian. B, because the suit names were changed. And this is what I mean by the artists and the authors. They make it their own. So you have to get to know the name of the suits of a new deck. Now also in the herb crafters, you've got Alita, what have you got? Hang on a minute. You've got the Alita, that is the knight, then you've got the Madre, that's the queen, and then you have the Haya, which is the page. Now the Curandera, that is the king. So that's where in the major, in the characters, the names change. But the suits can also change. The suits can be like swords or arrows, or I can't think of it. Air. They can be called that, and the herb crafters, it's air. In other decks it's swords, like pentacles. Pentacles can be earth, or money, coins, or stones. There's different names. So learn the different names of the characters. The big arcana, also judgment is rebirth in some decks, so make sure that you know your deck before you do a reading, and use that deck that you know in and out, so that you don't have to use the book, especially not in front of a querent. Now you see me using the book once I have a new deck, because I always do my reviews and open everything up with my viewers. I think it's just exciting, and that's the way I like to interact with my viewers. So different decks also have interpretations. Why? Because of the artist and of the author, the story behind it. Like the pagans, they think differently, they give a different meaning to the card, because also the story behind it. And you start at the Fool, and the Fool doesn't know anything. The magician gets to know that he's got everything he needs, and the journey goes on till card 21, the World. Also you have the Thoth system. The Thoth system is a totally different system. It doesn't speak to me. I find it also very difficult, but I do find it fascinating, because the cards are, the art is really magic. Now you also have Lenormand, and Lenormand, you've just got pictures like here. You can see the moon. It's got a different meaning than in tarot. The Lenormand doesn't have zodiac signs. Also it has the number of the card and the cartomancy, the playing cards like just these. So you can also take a normal deck and take out the 5, 4, 3 and 2 of every suit and the jokers. Unless you want to make a wild card, then you can make a joker a wild card. Usually you use a wild card to represent a person, so that you've got 2 jokers, so you can make 1 masculine, 1 female, so that you have 2 females. But nowadays a lot of the decks, like the Gilded Reverie that is extended, has 2 males and 2 females. Sometimes you can find 2 foxes, 2 bears. That is up to the author and the artist that makes the deck. Also you've got Kabbalah. That's a totally different system, and it's too complicated for me. And you've also got the Rider-Waite. This is my first deck, and I got scared of it, and then I went on to the Lenormand. But now I'm back, because I've opened my understanding. I'm more open-minded. I'm also more mature, so I work with both decks. So that is one of the next questions. Now, to keep me on the straight and narrow with my speech, I've learned to write things down, and that is one of the ways why I've improved with my speech. So if you are doing a video as well with tarot or another deck and explaining something, then write points, keywords down, and then the conversation or the presentation will also be fluid. It flows better. Where can I get a used deck? Well, I've already said that. You can get it at a second-hand bookstore, or you can get it at a fair, a paranormal fair. Paranormal fair, they have tarot stands where you can buy tarot, or second-hand decks or new decks. Sometimes people that work on the fair, the tarorists or the Lenormandists, readers, they have their second-hand decks that they want to get rid of on sale for $5, $10. So you can begin very small and grow out to expensive decks like the ones that I have in my reviews. These are something like $35 or nearly $40, $39.95. They can be from $8 to $69. Wow. Okay, now where can I use or do readings? Now, there is a discrepancy. Some people, I've heard stories, there is a hotel with a lobby and a coffee corner, and the owner can come in and say, do you mind not reading tarot? And that is, again, a gatekeeper, okay? They are scared and they don't understand tarot, perhaps, but perhaps they feel that with the magical thing about tarot, the taboo that's hanging around tarot, is witchcraft, and they're scared that they might lose customers, or that some other customers might be offended. Now, you can read cards anywhere. You can read it in a car, you can read it at a bus stop, you can, so long you can get a quiet place. And if you don't want to offend anybody, then you can always ask the owner or the person in charge, do you mind if I do a tarot reading with this person or for somebody else? And some people, they even welcome you, even in a place like a new age shop. They even welcome people to read for their clients, and that is how you can gain experience as well. Luckily, nowadays, people are more acceptable and in thrall of the tarot or the Lenormand. How do you do that? How do you know that? And that's how you meet people, get the rush of being recognized. I've had some beautiful moments, people saying, oh, how do you know that? How do you know that? You don't know me. And even also with the things that I see, and I can explain houses or situations, how they look like, and people are amazed. Well, that is not me, that is my guides and my ancestors showing me pictures, and that I have to translate into words so that people, my querent, can say, yes, that is true, or that is not true. I'm only human. I only can translate pictures or something that's been said to me to the querent. I'm only a channel. And that's why you have to be pure and open. But remember, you can also be susceptible to sensitive things and sadness. You might start crying because somebody on the other side is crying. Why? Well, I've had it that I start crying, or I have tears, or I water up because somebody on the other side is crying. They just wanted to get the message across to the querent. And usually it results in a positive answer or a positive situation. They have wanted to hear from their loved ones. And when you have something like that, then you feel in awe yourself that you were chosen as the channel to make that connection and to let them know what the message was. Also, how can you use tarot? And can you only use tarot to read and predict the future? No, you cannot predict the future, but I'll come back on that in a minute. You can use the tarot for shadow work, and like Wiccans, pagans, witches, they say they're witches, and I have to respect that. I don't think witches are witches. I think witches are another way of healers, and that's why I'm saying that word can also bring fear in. I did a series on the witches, and it's a lovely and very interesting way of life and work and what they do. It is magical in its own right, just like reading Lenormand or tarot or oracle. You can read a card, you can take a card for the day, you can use an oracle card or you can use a tarot card, and that helps me to focus back on the card. If you get into a dip, or if you're bored, or if you're down, then think back on that card and see what that card means to you and how you can interpret it and how you can extend the interpretation on just one card. It also can be used as a reset button. If you do get depressed or fed up, then think back to the card and reset it. Take the first conclusion, if it is a positive one, and use that positivity. You can also mix the tarot cards. You can take 2 decks of tarot, or you can take a tarot and a Lenormand. You can take tarot and oracle. You can take all 3 of them and use them. And you can use them as clarification cards. Is tarot evil? Well, no, I've already said that. Tarot isn't evil. It was taboo, but now it's more recognition. But just be careful that if you are dealing with somebody that is very religious, they can be a gatekeeper. So just say to them, well, there's more to tarot than meets the eye. It's not just telling the future. It's also mythological stories behind it, biblical stories. You can even relate it back to the Bible if you need to. But remember, you don't have to justify yourself to anybody. You have your opinion and they have their opinion. You must have respect for each other. And my advice is, if you've got a gatekeeper that keeps on holding back and giving you comments like, this is evil, this is witchcraft, you can't tell the future, things like that, then just drop it. Because if somebody, it's like if somebody wants help, they have to help themselves. You can't do it because you hold the key. And from an action comes a reaction. From a reaction comes an action. Because if I read a card and I say to you, we've got the pot of gold here today, the 10 of cups, the 10 of pentacles, the sun, which is the ultimate lucky card or happy card, and the world or the wheel of fortune, you're going to win the lottery today. And I'm predicting that you cannot. Because if the person hasn't got a ticket, they can't win the lottery. Okay? So then they have to take action, go out physically and buy the ticket, and then they might have an opportunity. That is action creating reaction. Okay? So the cards can tell you what the energy will be or could be presumably in the future. So it's like forewarned is forearmed. It also makes you more conscious of what could be coming into you from the future, because the future has to happen. So if I've got a negative card like the Hanged Man, in this case, delays, getting another perspective, but mainly delays. Like if I've got the 10 of Cups, you're going to get the lottery. Well, there is delays. The delay is that you're sitting on your bottom, not going out to get that lottery ticket. So you must change, and that's what the Hanged Man means. And also the Hanged Man, you need to know the story behind it, because the Hanged Man has made the choice to hang himself up. his hands are also free, not tied up physically. Okay, so you must also look at the pictures. There's so much in just one picture. Okay, it's like the saying says, a picture says 1,000 words. So not that in your ears, as we say in Holland. Okay, so yes, also just respect the people with their beliefs and their whether they're a religion or not. Also, you can read the cards anywhere, but if you don't want to offend anybody and you are uncertain that you can read cards like in a library, then ask permission. So simple. And otherwise, choose a place where you know you are allowed to read cards for a querent. We need people. Also, what I would like to mention is be careful that if you do have a practice from home, that there is always somebody around nowadays, because you don't know who you let into your house. If you're on your own, a woman especially, you could get a harmful person, because if the reading doesn't go to their liking, because you're true to your work and to see or say what is in the cards, they should be open enough to accept it. So make sure that the querent does not become vengeful. Okay, they have to respect your space. So it's always better to have somebody around just in case something like that happens. Also, if a querent becomes unwell, that you have help to assist you. Okay, it's not happened to me, but I've been thinking about that, because I'm a person on my own during the day, and I don't want anybody unsavory in my space. And I cleanse the space if that would happen with white sage or lavender or rose smudge, something like that. And also do meditation with white light and ask for forgiveness or healing the situation for them and for me. We need people to continue this tradition, and so the younger generation needs the experience and guide from readers that have experience and are good readers. Okay. Okay, I did go into the extreme prices. I get a question, how do I ask money? Well, that is a difficult one, because I'm not a very good person to ask for money. And I usually give in, and I give a reading for free. You are allowed to ask money, a reimbursement, because you have to use and buy equipment, especially if you're doing videos. You have to buy tablecloths, you have to buy coffee, because when a querent does come in, you would like to offer a cookie or a slice of cake and a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. And that is also being a good hostess. It makes people become more relaxed. It also breaks the ice. So that is one of the things that is nice to do. So you are allowed to ask for payment, because you also have to pay taxes on your readings, and that's what a lot of people forget. You can say about half of the money that you earn has to go to taxes and costs for the equipment and services. Internet, electricity, coffee, tea, buying decks. So you need to reimburse decks to keep the freshness and the interest going. Also for yourself, of course. One thing, if somebody says that you're a bad reader, It can also be a reflection of that person if they are a reader. The bad ones will always drop away along the way. The good ones will always persist and learn and to find out more. Now that is all that I have to say about the Gatekeeper. And how can you learn tarot? Why should you learn tarot? Or what are the grounds? Now, I'm going to also go through a few of my decks. This is the Animal Oracle deck, and that is what it looks like. It's a beautiful card. You'll also get a beautiful booklet with it, twice as thick as the one that I've shown you, and it uses the animals, and it's got the name of the animal. You can use the numerology, the number of the card, and also the keywords. And you can extend onto the keywords, like bring a gentle touch. You can say bring a gentle touch. Perhaps somebody needs to be touched, and have a look if you are doing a reading, whether it's like the lovers coming together, be gentle. Or if you have the Six of Pentacles, be gentle in giving. Don't be blunt about it. Okay, watch your intonation of your voice. We've also got the herb crafters here. We have the, like I said, the naming is different of the tarot cards. Like the world is the world here, but we've got the herbs. But the Queen, the King, the Knight and the Page have different namings. So here again you've got a nice booklet here, the booklet, and it's grey and white, not colour, but it gives you also the story, how it started up, and what the card means, and what the herb is, and how to use it. This is Rider-Waite. This is the overall oldest tarot deck that I know of. And tarot actually goes back to the Egyptian times, not only the Roman times, but you see more Roman figures with the here, like the magician, the robes the Romans used to wear. Also, we have the normal playing cards. Well, I've already said something about them. We've got the Lenormand, and the Lenormand is only 36 cards, but some decks are extended and have 2 men and 2 females. And like I said, you've got the numerology and the cartomancy. So you've got really, excuse me, 3 cards in one, or 3 answers in one. So if you start with Lenormand, then just start off with the titanium fortune cards. Then you only have the picture and a very extensive detailed explanation, because the meanings of Lenormand is different. It's a different system. We also have show and tell. The story behind the show and tell there was a man, and he was, yeah, it's like something, he was stuck at home. I don't know whether I can read it. The briefing cards. Briefing cards help people to express in an appealing way what they have to say. The selection and discussion of images tickles the imagination and stimulates associative thought. Briefing cards are used in training, coaching, consulting, design and diagnosis. On briefingcards.com you will find digital versions of the images, suggestions for use, information about the involvement, copyrights, how to have own briefing cards made and in our web shop. So yes, the briefing cards are also used by CEOs or consultants that work for firms that do re-evaluation discussions, and this is what they look like, and they break the ice. there are 50 cards, and like railroaded, being railroaded, or choices. What do you interpret? And this is how they're used. Ambition, climbing the mountain. Okay, things like that. But it started off as a game, and this guy that invented this game, or these cards, has become a multi-millionaire because they're not tarot. So then people can't say, oh, that's taboo, that's bad luck. No, these are, look at the pictures. And you can use these also as confirmation or clarification cards with a reading. I'm a life coach, and when I was doing my study, I had these cards, and I went to my teacher and I said, have you ever heard of the breathing cards? 6 months later, before the course was finished, he came in with his own set of cards. Would you believe it? This is how you can influence other people. So again, these cards break ice. You can see a lot, like I say, a picture says 1,000 words. You could be at the top, but you could be alone. That could be your interpretation. Okay. Also, we have the pagan cards. Now, the pagan system is totally different. Like the lovers, there are, let me show you. In the lovers card, I'm still doing, trying to finish off the series. So I'm so busy because I love doing things, and I love sharing my knowledge with everybody. But I'm just going to show you the lovers from the Rider-Waite, if I can find it, and then you will see the difference. Okay, I'm just going to stop the video. Here you can see the lovers, and you have the man and the woman, and you've got Archangel Gabriel blessing the union. Now, here you've got like the 3 people, but you've got 4 people in the mythic tarot. You've got the Athena, the goddess of the mind, the air element. Then you've got a lady with the golden chalice, and she's voluptuous and sensual. That's water. And then you've got a Hebra. I think she's called Hebra. I can't remember everything. She's got the globe, and that's like the world. And then this man is also the Prince of Troy. I think he's called Paris. He's got the golden apple, and he's been told by another god, if you don't do this, then you will get punished by Zeus. And this is where the story is. This has got a different story, and you still have the mountains in the back. Here you've got the apple tree, the forbidden fruit, and here you've got another tree. So you really have to get into the dynamics of the story behind each deck. This is the best way I can show you that there is different meanings. Even the red wings of the angel has a meaning, and the sun is shining on this union, the blessing of the angelic, the divine. Again, that's where the marriage comes in. But here it is that he is offered 3 different, and I think she's Venus. She offers, oh no, Medusa. She's the goddess, the Medusa. She offers him the most beautiful woman on earth, and he goes for that offer. But he also tries to refuse it before he makes his choice, because he knows that one of the other 2 goddesses will be angry and will punish him. And that is what makes tarot so exciting. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope to discuss this with you in a live session. If you would like any questions answered or discuss this, then let me know what you think. And if you want to discuss something else, then let me know either through email or in the descriptions below. Thank you so much for staying here, if you're still here, to listen to me talking, and I'm sorry it's not a podcast, but I really want to get into podcasts because this is what I would love to do, talk about tarot and Lenormand, art and everything. So take care, stay safe and stay beautiful. Love you.